Hello, and welcome to the Bel-E Scratch podcast. I am your host, Bel-E.
And I am your co-host, Scratch.
And today, it's Sunday.
Yes.
And it's winter.
And it's winter-ish.
Winter-ish. I mean, yesterday, it was pleasantly warm, but it was like really cloudy, overcast, and then just a metric fuck ton of water dropped out of the sky.
Yeah. It was quite a dousing.
Yeah, it was like there was no rain. There was like a little sprinkling, but the clouds were pretty dark, and then all of a sudden it was...
Yeah, the matriarch was outside working on her stereo and her vehicle.
She left the door open, and I couldn't remember if she had. So she had to scramble to get back outside, close the door, and grab her shit.
She was already soaked.
Yeah, she wasn't really happy.
Nope.
And today...
She was soaked to the bone.
Yeah.
I mean, she had to remove all clothing and replace it with dry.
Yeah.
And that stuff's hanging up. I think it's still dripping.
Yeah, somewhere in the bathroom. And today...
That's how much rain came down.
Oh, yeah. And it lasted no more than 10 minutes.
Yeah, it was about 10 minutes.
Yeah, about 10 minutes, and then just went away.
Just this, this weather ass kicking, and then it just disappeared.
Yeah, just fucked off. Yeah, and today it was just beautiful, not a cloud in the sky, but it was cold.
Yeah, it was cold.
And I'm like, man, I hate this shit. Yesterday is my idea of perfect weather, where it's cloudy, overcast, but it's not too cold, but not too warm. Like, you can go either way on a jacket.
Right.
And I like overcast. It's not that I hate the sun. I just like overcast because I don't have to constantly wear my sunglasses.
Yes.
Because sun is not in my face, making me feel, pain.
Me and bright lights do not get along.
No, I suppose that's just part of the being on the spectrum.
I guess.
Natural light, as long as it's not directly in my face, I'm relatively okay with. Fluorescent lighting sucks.
Yes.
That's why I got my orange fairy lights in my room.
Orange fairy lights.
Because white fairy lights hurt.
Yeah, they are.
So I got the Halloween edition, which is like, oh, this is perfect. I can see it's aesthetically pleasing, if not a little rednecky, but whatever, it works.
No. I find that I've always been fascinated by alternative lighting.
Oh yeah, no problem with that.
Adds a little flavor to the room.
Sure. So
I always one of these days I want to get always like those lava lamps.
I love lava lamps. I think Spencer's has those. Yeah, they do.
Yeah. The original ones
the original ones, I ain't sure if they got those.
Yeah, I think they do. I mean...
they probably do, you just have to sidestep the back area.
The lava lamp company has the patent. There's something...
Yeah.
There's something
special about the lava in the lamp.
I think it's wax.
It's something definitely a waxy polymer, whatever.
And they've got the patent on it.
Oh yeah,
and
it just looks cool.
It really does look cool,
even if you're sober.
Yes.
Speaking of things to do when you're sober.
Yes.
Well, okay. Let's phrase that. Something that you should do.
DMV driving test.
That is incredibly debatable, depending on your location.
Surfing with sharks.
Not great whites, definitely. I don't know. Nurse sharks will just leave you alone.
Yeah.
Hammerheads, they just look doofy, but I don't think they're that. I'm not sure if they're that aggressive. Great whites, as long as you don't bleed and don't fuck with them.
Yeah, don't flail.
Yeah, don't flail.
And go out past the breakers.
Yeah.
Well, it's mostly bull sharks out there.
Yeah, pretty much. Sharks in general, they only kill so many people a year. And here's the thing, I'm in this weird headspace where it's like, I'm not I'm pro-environmental, but I'm not anti-human, which that's more chic nowadays, where, a lot of environmental causes. They're not, they are pro-environment.
Right.
But many kind of tread into that anti-human territory.
Oh, that used to be very heavy.
Oh, I know. That was before the panini.
That was definitely before the panini.
Yeah, this kind of harkens back to me telling the story of my somewhat batshit crazy former retail manager talking about how we need to go back to how the Mayans and the Aztecs were doing it, where we would have human sacrifices to the earth and the sun in order to basically cull humanity back into its primordial existence, back before the technologies and shit. And I'm like, motherfucker, that is not gonna happen. Now, if there's a complete breakdown in society, I have no doubt something like that will arise, but it's not going to take the form you
I can't imagine anything on that scale, though.
Yeah, no, not that scale. And here's also the other thing. The people advocating for stuff like that, now, this is pre-Panini, of course.
Right.
The people who had advocated for that stuff, they think they're the ones that aren't going to get the guillotine.
Clipped.
Yeah, they think they're not going to get
I always
clipped.
find that interesting. They're like, there shouldn't be so many people on the earth. Okay, pal, you first.
You first. Yeah, these are the people who don't think that they're going to get it.
Why would I, if you have, can you say the word final?
Possibly.
And the word solution in the same sentence?
I don't recommend it.
I don't recommend it either.
But that's kind of what these folk were advocating.
If you discovered it, hey.
Sure.
Sure. A good idea is like a screaming kid in church that need to be carried out. Anyway.
Indeed. No.
Yeah, help yourself. Take mine too.
Now, here's the thing. I always found it funny how people in certain organizations, they toss it like that all over the place.
Yeah.
Basically, I wouldn't equate it 100% with playing with death. Because there's a difference between talking that mad shit versus dancing with a train, you see? And that's not what I'm getting at. What I'm getting at is they're just kind of, playing with something, per se, that they clearly don't have a lot of experience in. And and here we are, post-Panini. Well, not necessarily, current Panini.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't hear that rhetoric being tossed around that the human race is a disease that needs to be wiped out. Hence, another disease magically sprung up to wipe out humanity. And now people are shutting the fuck up about it. There are obviously people who still believe in it, and those are the people I go, okay, you're legit. I don't agree with it, but you're not saying it for the sake of, seeming cool and radical.
Well, anybody that talks about that sort of thing and
means it.
Has gotten their vaccinations and wears a mask out in public.
Yeah.
Chicken.
No, I know. Again, that whole thing of, okay, buddy, you first.
Yeah, oh, buddy, you first.
Yeah,
okay.
I don't know, so.
That's an interesting,
what, I brought up a good point somehow?
Well, I think, a lot of people that feel that way, they've never had to encounter anything. In other words,
it speaks to me that people who speak that type of rhetoric, it speaks to me the type of people who have either been fed the wrong information or just lived a life of sheer inconveniences.
Well, they've lived. I think they've lived a life of where they never felt threatened.
Fair.
See what I'm saying?
Well, that's where that's what I mean by
whether
life.
by socioeconomic situation or didn't have enough food.
Yeah, they didn't live in some kind of dire straits.
They didn't live in a situation. They've never lived in a situation where they had to. It was almost a survival kind of thing. They never had to fight for their survival.
Yeah.
So they don't understand that impulse
to survive.
To survive
until it's right up on them.
Yeah, until it's on top of them. Yeah.
Well, that's also why I talk about a lot of people. Now, I'm not talking about the people who have come out from the other side of like wartime and other horrendous stuff like that and go, there needs to be an extermination of humankind. I'm not talking about those folks. That's kind of an outlier, and you see that more in movies. Not saying those people don't exist, but that's a definite outlier.
Yeah, that's one of those systems of thought that gets promoted because it's interesting in fiction.
Sure, but in real life,
and people get the impression that it's far more common,
but not necessarily. No, what I'm talking about is a lot of pre-Panini, pre-Panasonic. I'm just gonna keep making up words.
That's awesome.
Because it's a big joke.
Pre-pickle pancakes.
Yeah. Pre-pickle. Yeah, because to my generation, the Gen Zs, this is just one big fucking joke. And you know what? At least we got a sense of humor about it. Not a good one, but hey. Whatever gets us through the day.
Whatever gets you through the day.
So, pre-Panasonic, you had these people who would advocate for various reasons of the calling of humanity. That was basically the entire plot line behind the first Kingsman movie, which kicked ass. But that was kind of the ultimate goal. So it was this anti-humanistic environmental message of the antagonist.
Right.
So here's the thing. I find it interesting because a lot of people who I have known to spout that type of rhetoric have mostly lived a life, not necessarily of just pure indulgence, not necessarily. Or privilege. But definitely people...
Although there is,
Yeah.
to being, I don't think growing up safe should be a privilege.
Not quite.
Although some people treat it that way.
Anyway. I mean, a lot of folks like that, they typically... The most basic threat, as you mentioned earlier, that these folks face is like inconveniences. Oh, this line at wherever the fuck I am is so long.
First world problems.
A lot of first world problems. That's kind of a lot of the. I saw that was a root of a lot of that. That culling talk.
When somebody walks up into a grocery store, a cashier line, and there's tons of people, and somebody will utter, "God hates me." Why? Because you're standing in a long line. There are people that are like that. It's like, what?
This is just happening, bro.
This is okay.
This is just what's happening, bro.
This is just what's happening. Yeah, I've run into people like that.
Yeah, I mean stuff like that.
Yeah.
People who, they don't encounter anything horrific like war, famine.
Their frame
disease.
of reference is awful small.
Exactly.
And the Panini is fixing that on a lot of people.
Yeah, that's kind of why you don't hear a lot of stuff like this Panini totally put the cap on whatever the hell Miss Greta Thunberg or Grunberg, however you say her last name. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. It's not that I don't...
Greta Jesus.
Yeah, Greta Jesus. That was pissing me off.
It was.
Because here's the thing. It's not that I didn't agree. I didn't agree 100% with what she was talking about, or what she was being fed, or what she believed in.
Right.
Okay? I get it. Microplastics in the ocean. The nuclear meltdown in Japan, which no one's still talking about.
No one talks about.
The big fucking Texas-sized spot somewhere in the Pacific Ocean, just full of plastic.
Full of plastic.
Shit like that.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
No, I don't like it either.
Yeah. So we're not standing here, we're not sitting here going like, fucking pollute the ocean, bitches. Fuck your turtles. No, we're not.
No. Shh. I like turtles.
Yeah. Yeah, we're not going over here like, fuck your turtles. No. We're not. That's not us.
No, not at all.
I think I'm going to call, I think that's what this episode's going to be called. Fuck your turtles.
Fuck your turtles.
Sure. That's not what that's hashtag
on the hard shell.
Yeah. Hashtag fuck yo turtles.
Fuck yo turtles. Yeah, no.
Yeah, that's not us. But here's the problem with whatever the hell platform or propping up of Miss Greta was happening. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You clearly, I didn't give a shit that she was like 16 or whatever at first.
Sure.
Here's the thing, in today's, like, the whole mainstream media, collectively, let's just say the collective mainstream media, not just the North American one, whatever, has a tendency to push this doom and gloom agenda.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
Let's be fair.
Let's be fair.
So, the fact that a lot of people, they feel out of touch with whatever's happening because they're only being fed that doom and gloom.
Yeah.
I can see where she's coming from by this very honest, very heartfelt anger and sadness.
Because that's all she's ever known.
Correct. All she's known was this doom and gloom. And in the very, very early days of her, like, quote unquote, ascension into the media, her parents talked about how she was very depressed, not in a good headspace. Like, this was like very early days.
Uh-huh.
And her parents did everything that humanly they said that they could. Now, whether or not they did, I don't know. I don't know these people. And then it just wound its way to her giving this big press conference saying, you know, how dare you?
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, okay,
The unmitigated gall.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Or whatever the Grinch
I don't know
said.
who she's connected to, okay?
I don't know either.
You think some dingbat 12-year-old kid can walk in off the street and address the UN, you're out of your tree.
Yeah,
all
that's
right?
kind of...
Her parents got money somewhere.
That was where I was like, wait a minute.
Kiss my foot.
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute. That's where I drew the line. I was like, okay, wait a minute. I know, and still do to an extent, although it has progressively gotten worse.
Yeah.
I have known... throughout my life, numerous people who were just like her for various subjects and reasons, of course.
Sure.
Just stuck in this doom and gloom, can't see the light at the end of the tunnel. It's the end of the world all day, every day. You're just waiting for it to end for one reason or another.
Right.
What's so special about her? Not calling her into question, I'm just like, who made the decision? You see?
Right.
Like, did money exchange hands? Did her family know somebody? Did someone just go, hey, yo, you know?
Yeah, I mean, did they draw names out of a hat?
Yeah.
I mean, how did she get up there?
Yeah.
All right. I don't care what her message is or her delivery, okay?
I just want to know, how did we get from point A to point B? All right. I'm not calling into question the message. You know, this is for the historians that are inevitably going to look back through this and go, they're anti-people. No, you dipshit. I'm going to call you out right now.
No,
that's not what I'm saying. I'm trying to figure out, how did we get from point A to point B? Or did.
I'm interested.
Yeah. And then here's the thing. Again, it's not that I disagreed with what was being said. I have my own issues with it myself.
Right.
But then, what pissed me off, what made me go from, even though it's a ploy, somebody had to get it out in the open.
Right.
To, I don't want to see your fucking face ever again.
Easy there, Tonto.
No. What made me just flip that switch was basically what's happening now with the panini. Just wall to wall to wall coverage.
Oh, yeah.
Where I could not get out from underneath it.
Like she was running for president or something.
Correct.
It was ridiculous.
That made me go,
damn you, Tom Steyer. You know, it's like if I have to see one more bloody thing with her face on it.
Yeah. That's why this
loud.
is why I hate the guy who plays Sheldon from Big Bang Theory. Same deal. He was just everywhere because that show was big.
You know what gets me about that show and that guy? People slobber all over
exactly
talking about him. Oh, Sheldon, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
I don't talk like that about anybody.
Yeah.
Okay.
In my opinion,
the quarterback of my favorite NFL team.
Yeah.
Okay. But people were talking about him like he was the second coming of Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
He's so smart.
You and Jimmy Buffett.
It's an effing television show, people.
The TV show, guys. Here's the thing. I'm just gonna say it right now. Big Bang Theory is a smart show for dumb people.
It's definitely a smart show for dumb people.
Okay, because I'm just gonna lay it out there. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. In terms of the scientific accuracy, it's pretty accurate from what I have seen.
Yeah.
Like, they get their shit right, you know?
I guess they better.
Yeah, they
Got
better.
a nation of nerds that'll fact check them into the ground.
Same thing. Yeah, there was even a few times when they, like, spoke Klingon and ubby-dubby and shit like that.
Awesome.
So, they need to get their shit straight. But the whole time I have ever encountered someone who's, like, a Big Bang Theory watcher back when I was, like, in high school or something.
Yeah.
It was always... If two people who watched Big Bang Theory met each other, it was always the exact same thing.
Really?
Oh, hey, I watched Big Bang Theory. Oh, what a coincidence. I also watched Big Bang Theory. Look how smart we are. Blah, 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 blah. Hey, I'm smart. Hey, I'm smart too. I agree. Agree. Yeah, agree. And in high school, it was my fucking chemistry teacher and the physics professor.
Awesome.
Which, here's the thing. I like both of them very much.
Right.
Especially the chemistry person.
Sure.
She was the only person that ever recommended me for, like, AP physics or something in high school. And most of the time, I just got, like, recommendations for AP English or something.
Sure.
But then again, here's the thing. I told her, look, I ain't going to AP... I am not going to AP Physics because I get the concept of physics. I hate the math portion.
Yeah.
And the only reason I was any good at chemistry was because the teacher gave us practical information. Yeah. Like, hey, take a chunk of potassium, throw it in water, you can make that shit explode. Guess what? I remembered.
Was the pyromaniac aspect
She was basically the pyromaniac. She was the person telling us she was the person basically teaching us out of the Anarchist Cookbook.
What?
She didn't literally teach us out of the Anarchist Cookbook, but that was basically...
Had she come into contact with one?
She's like 40, 50 years old. She probably has. And she's from Texas.
That sounds like a recipe for somebody who would at least have a knowledge of its existence.
Yeah. No, I mean, like, she didn't, now here's the thing, she didn't draw out any equations or any, like, specific formulas, but she told us the rough dimensions on how to make, like, a fertilizer bomb, napalm.
Oh, yeah.
You know, because that is chemistry. Like, she told us how to weaponize chemists.
I've done it.
Yeah.
But
Don't admit anything to yourself unless the statute of limitations run out.
Statute of limitations has run out,
okay,
actually.
then tell that story. Okay, that's on you.
All right, kids, gather around.
Wait, is this the where you were working at that plant in the early days of the internet?
Early days of the internet.
Do it.
Early days of the internet, everything was text.
Uh-huh.
Okay, there was no pictures. There was no PDFs. There was no...
It was like a black screen and green text.
It was like...
That was it.
JPEG.
Yeah.
None of that. Okay, it was all text. And I worked for a company that had... was involved in a North American country's defense contract.
Uh-huh.
So we had access to the defense text communication.
Yeah, you had access to their servers?
Their servers.
Whatever the fuck that was
whatever
back
that was
Yeah,
back
whatever
then.
that was back
That was
then.
the original. The original internet was
basically just
communications between military bases and government projects and things like that, all over the globe.
Yeah, which most stuff start out as military projects anyway.
I was working in this chemical lab, and it was a Saturday night. I was working overtime. So it was usually I had a lab partner.
Yeah.
But it was my weekend, so it was just me.
Mm-hmm.
There was only a few process areas running, so I could cover it, just me, just one person. So that's how overtime on the weekends works. So anyway,
yeah,
I was communicating with I was reading this forum that was I think it was some base in Germany, and I was reading through something about M80 firecrackers, that were in the process at the time of. In some places they're completely illegal now.
Oh,
but
no
shit! Back then they were sort of legal in some places, depending.
They were just,
and these were like an M80 was literally the earliest version of an M80 was like a quarter was like an eighth to a quarter stick of dynamite.
Oh, that was what the cherry bombs used to be
like
made
cherry bombs,
like old school cherry bombs.
Old school cherry bombs.
That you cannot get your hands on now.
You cannot get your hands on them anymore.
No.
You see these television shows and movies and somebody flushing a cherry bomb in a hire, because when you lit them, see, this stuff used to be made out of military weapons grade ingredients.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Yeah, I remember there was a scene in That 70s Show, and I love that. And I love That 70s Show.
Right, me too.
And I don't know what happened. It was Eric, Hyde, and Fez. They were all like locked into a locker room. I don't remember why they were doing it. It was just vandalism. That's the only thing I can remember. Because here's the thing: Hyde and Eric were trying to figure out how to open the door that was locked.
Right. And
they had like crawled through a window or something. I don't remember how they got in.
Right.
I know how they got out, but that's a spoiler for the episode.
Sure.
And they're just like going back and forth how to get the fuck out of the locker room because they had done whatever they needed to be done. And then at the end of the scene, when they're talking to each other, Fez comes rushing in and says that he flushed a cherry bomb down the toilet. And without speaking to each other, Eric and Hyde start tugging as hard as they can into the door to get out.
Right.
So that's my context for a cherry bomb. It was something not to be fucked with.
Cherry bombs, the original cherry bombs, I guess I kind of got a hold of one in
the most recent time I've ever seen a cherry bomb.
Probably, yeah.
It was about 15-ish years ago. I remember finding a video on the internet. Like on YouTube, like the dawn of YouTube, before they had...
Dawn of YouTube.
Yeah, like within the first 3 years-ish, before they had major algorithm.
Right,
so,
right.
What had happened was I saw this video that I knew without a shadow of a doubt was taking place somewhere in Ireland. Possibly Northern Ireland, but I am not sure. And they flushed a cherry bomb down the toilet. And guess what?
What?
That shit exploded the toilet.
Man.
And that was about 12, 15 years ago.
Hey, man, look what I got. What? I got some cherry bombs. Dang, man, cherry bombs. Where'd you get those? Northern Ireland.
Yeah. Probably where you can get them now.
A Northern Ireland cherry bomb.
Yeah.
All right.
You gotta go talk to sketchy Irishman. Anyway, so your application to the cherry bombs.
So, you'd light them, and I never did this.
No.
Because my father would have, I'm not saying he would have killed me, but it would have felt like it.
Yeah.
But you could light them, and they would, and once you lit them, even if they got wet,
they'd still be lit.
They'd still be lit.
Yeah.
So what people would do, and this didn't happen all the time. I think I remember happening twice. But they would go to a high, like you were in a third story building.
Yeah.
They would flush a cherry bomb on the third story. And it would blow up somewhere around the second story or the first story.
Yeah.
That sort of thing.
Yeah.
So.
Fuck.
So I was looking at this. Basically, it was a forum. And this thing about cherry bombs popped up, and I don't know. there was just like this mystique to them. It's not like I was a pyromaniac or anything like that.
Yeah.
But they were a subject of conversation between people who enjoyed fireworks and stuff like that.
No
but
shit.
Anyway, so I started reading through the forum posts and somebody. Then I read this something about like a liquid explosive called ammonium triiodide, and I started reading through the process. Basically, it's something that when you create it, as long as it's wet, it's stable.
Yeah.
But as soon as it dries, it's explosive.
Yeah.
So I tried a couple times and didn't get the ratio right. Tried another couple times and didn't get the ratio right. And went back and read it. And I think I was trying to make too small of an amount.
Okay.
Because I didn't know what this thing. Apparently, the person that invented it or discovered it, and he didn't really discover it. It already existed. He just found it.
Yeah. Like lightning.
He apparently lost 3 fingers.
Yeah.
when he discovered it.
Yeah,
and,
that's not right.
So I mix this thing up, and I get a piece about. I get a spot about as big as a quarter.
Mm-hmm.
And in this chemical lab, they had this huge, what they call a flume.
Yeah.
It's just this constant drawing of air out of the lab. Because
it's a chem lab. You kind of need those.
And when you would do, and it was heavily, I don't want to say armored, but it was heavily reinforced because you would have all these dangerous chemicals and reagents in this flume. And that's where you dealt with the dangerous stuff.
Yeah.
And so I apparently got the ratio right, and I was drying this liquid compound on a piece of filter paper.
Yeah.
And so I had what's called a reagent stir stick. It was like a long plastic paddle.
Yeah.
Like a thin paddle that you hold in your hand and stir reagents.
Yes.
If you needed to. And so my plan was to take this. It was about 1.5 feet long, this little handheld utensil.
Yeah. And
I was going to push the filter paper further into the flume and then whack it.
Uh-huh.
Well, I mean, as soon as my stir stick touched that filter paper, it went boom. Freaking threw me back. I was wearing a ball cap, knocked the ball cap off my head. I do remember it had this really, really, really pretty purple smoke, like Prince Purple Rain purple smoke.
Shit.
It was really cool.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing was, they'd say, people would keep it in a dropper bottle and they would, put it in locks. People put in a key, get a bang.
Yes, and controlled substances.
And controlled substances.
You had a fucking quarter.
I had a quarter size. Boom! Man, I got my bearings. I'm trying to figure out whether, I don't know, I couldn't feel my face. So I reached up and was trying to, for my brain to come back into, come to re-engage, and I realized that I'm looking for any wet places, see if I still have my nose.
Yeah, that's smart.
Oh man, and all I could hear was this.
Yeah,
in my ears.
That tetanus whistle.
Tinnitus
whistle.
Whatever. And I was like, I can't hear anything. All I could hear is this ringing in my ears, this big loud ringing in my ears. God knows what my hair looked like. I have no idea. My hat was on the other side of the lab. And I turned around and I thought, somebody had to have heard that. I mean, there's no way. I mean, this plant, it was a big plant.
Yeah.
And we were, based on what we did, we were not centrally located. We were off in the back.
Yeah, you were like in one of the off wings. It's not like you were in the main hub.
But still, this place, it had security and all exits and all this stuff.
Yeah.
But we made, We made products for the
yeah.
for the defense contracts.
Yeah, of course you're gonna have security.
So of course you're gonna have security. So anyway, I just remember the door to the lab opening. Right? And I mean, I didn't hear this guy coming.
No dir.
No dir. And I just saw the door open, and I saw his head pop in, and there was this guy. He was one of the security guys. You know, he had the pants and the shirt.
Was he like security, or was he like more of a rent-a-cop, or was he like an MP or a?
Well, at one time they had their own security force.
Okay.
And these were basically contracts.
Sure.
Hired. They were a security company. They were hired by the company I work for.
Yeah.
To keep the entrances secure.
Okay, I wasn't sure if this was like they had actual like military soldiers or MPs.
No.
Okay.
No. These were basically compared to military. These are rent-a-cops.
Basically, souped up rent-a-cops. Yeah, like so, 5 steps above Paul Blart.
I read his lips. He looked at me and he said, "I read his lips and he said, did you hear that?" He said, did you hear that?
What did you say?
I didn't hear him say it. I just read his lips. And he said, did you hear that? And I said, hear what? You know, and my hair probably looked like Albert Einstein, right? Hear what? You know, I'm standing there. I'm deaf. My hair's all jacked up.
You're probably a little singed.
I'm a little singed. And I said, hear what? And apparently he had better things to do.
Oh, so he just left you alone?
So he just left me alone.
Were you on the floor?
God. Do what?
Were you on the floor?
No. It didn't knock me on the floor.
Oh.
It did knock me back into a counter.
Oh, okay. I thought
like
it would...
a sink.
Okay. So you were just kind of looking a little ruffled rather than prone on the floor.
The great thing about being a ragamuffin such as myself,
sure,
I look a little rough all the time.
Yeah,
so
I get it.
If I'd have been pristine person, and then they would have said, "Are you okay?" No.
Yeah, this guy, he probably like saw you like 5-7 times because he works at that building, and it's like, it's fucking Nate.
Yeah,
comb your goddamn hair.
Hair, So that was it.
And
man.
They never caught you.
They never caught me. My hearing came back about 4 hours later. I was really worried about that.
I was about to say.
I mean, the whole time I'm just like pacing around. I'm like, man, I can't hear.
You can't hear shit. Oh no, my singing career.
Oh no, my danging. No, it was. Oh no, my danging career.
Yeah. Well, good for you.
Yeah, so I kept my ears that night, so I was happy about that.
I guess there's also a reason where I got my fucking interest in chemistry. So yeah, it turns out that we just happen to be good at blowing shit up, apparently. But hey, whatever. You know, I'm using my supposed pyromaniac ways in different ways with, like, fire fans.
Fire fans.
I just can't afford them right now, but they look so pretty.
They do.
It's on my list. Like, I'm going to learn how to use fire fans.
So it's a natural fascination.
Oh, yeah. To blow stuff up. Seriously, I will, like...
Of course, I have to say... I didn't mess with it again after that.
Oh, no. But here's the thing. There has to be you and I definitely have some kind of fascination with fire because stuff like that, there's another couple stuff I think you've told me. And then there would be times where I would be back at my warehouse job. I just get bored and I go outside onto the concrete dock and just set Post-it notes on fire to watch it burn. I don't mean that in a homicidal way. I mean it in more like that's pretty kind of way. There's a difference.
Yeah, there's a difference.
So anyway.
There's a difference when people say, if you use fire for destruction, you're not in love with fire.
No.
You're in love with destruction.
You're in love with destruction.
Right. Fire just happens to be a tool you use.
Yeah, I mean, one of my favorite scenes, one of my favorite things too, when I was a kid watching, Okay, this is definitely going to be a tangent. Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Cartoon?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, the movie does not exist.
That's right.
And I don't care for Legend of Korra, but that's numerous other reasons. Anyway, so, now, throughout the whole show, the main thing that we see is just, the air. It's the element of freedom. They can fly. They can leap great bounds.
Yeah.
Honestly and truly, in my opinion, air is the most overpowered element because you can't get rid of it.
Sure.
You can put.
There's no beginning and end to it.
There's no beginning and end to it. It's a circle.
Right.
Because one of the aspects of airbending is it was inspired by is it Bagua? It basically there's Chinese martial arts. It's roughly translated as circle walking.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's I think it is called Bagua, or I might be mistaken, but there is like a form of martial arts that's basically like a circle walking. It's very redirectional. It's very free movement, very floaty because it's air.
Air.
Yeah. And then,
right.
Yeah, because here's the thing: you can put firebenders in like a bunch of ice. They can't really firebend as well. You can put earthbenders in like a metal crate if they can't bend metal. This is like before Toph.
Yeah.
For the people that know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Pay attention.
Yeah. Yeah, you can put waterbenders in a position where they can't reach water.
Like Aquaman.
Yeah.
On the street, he was no good.
Yeah. Unless he was Jason Momoa.
Or he was near
or he was near a fish tank or something.
Near a pet shop.
Yeah. Same difference. But air, you can't really get out from under that.
No.
There's no way, unless you kill them, there's no way to...
Air feeds fire.
Exactly.
Sure.
And there's no way to get out from under air. You can't really contain somebody.
Oxygen's important.
Yeah. Unless you kill them, there is no way to contain an airbender, really, honestly.
No. Yeah.
So this whole thing, the whole show leading up to the third season, it was like, firebenders are like the evil people, not all of them were evil, of course. They did actually show, some humanity to a lot of the characters, and even some inhumanity from the other elements.
Yeah.
And then one day, in the third season, we're just going along. It's Zuko and Aang. They're going to the Sun Tribal Temple out in the Fire Nations because they want to find the source of firebending.
The source.
Yeah. Because in this world, every element that is able to be bent came from an animal native in that world. Airbending, they learned airbending from the sky bisons because they could fly.
Sky bison.
Yeah, they learned how to waterbend from the ocean and the moon, pull and push.
What about fish?
Oh, there's fish. There's the koi fish.
All right.
Earthbending from the badger moles. And for fire, it's the dragons.
Okay.
And then in this episode, this blew my mind as a kid. It was when they meet the original masters of firebending, Run and Shaw. Wink, wink.
Run and Shaw.
Yes.
That's funny.
This is legit.
That's cool.
And it's...
paying homage.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
And they get surrounded by basically this tornado of fire. But it's not just fire. It's multicolored. There's purples, there's reds, there's yellows, it's greens.
I guess at different temperatures.
Oh, yeah.
Different colors.
And different chemical reactions will produce different levels of different colored flames.
True.
But basically, it was... The whole show, it was talking about how water was the element of life, because you could heal, but Then they realized fire is not just destruction, it's life too.
Yeah.
Because the water in this universe, and I guess in our universe too, water is closely associated with the moon, the feminine aspect. This was life from the opposite end.
Okay.
The sun.
All right. And that's fire?
Yes.
Well, makes sense. I mean, the sun's a big ball of fire.
Yeah.
I guess.
And it blew my mind because I was like, how are you going to tie this together? Oh my God, you tied this shit together. Fuck. Oh, it just blew my mind. Yeah, slight tangent. So that just kind of fed into my whole thing of like, fire.
Fire, yo.
Fire, yo. Good Lord. You want to talk about the Rocky Horror Picture Show?
Sure.
All right.
Last night,
we went to go see the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
a midnight showing of the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yeah, it was a shadow cast deal.
Which I thought they did a really good job.
Oh, yeah.
That's why I really enjoy those small venues.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Because, they're just having fun.
You're paying attention to one part of the scene, but you see them changing the scenery on the other parts of it. Yeah, I think that's neat because that requires a different level of dedication than just walking out there and, playing a role and then just coming back behind the curtain.
Exactly.
I thought that was really neat. I thought they did a really good job. People disappeared and reappeared and yeah, I thought it was neat. I really did.
Yeah, basically what had happened is we all got to it really wasn't a venue. It's basically just a building.
Yeah, it definitely was just a building.
Because here's the thing, the bar.
The little stage.
Yeah, because here's the thing, the bar where I had encountered the mosh pit that took place inside of a closet. Oh damn, I dropped that. Here's the thing, that place, even though it was a closet, it was still a venue because they had it set up to be a venue.
Right.
Like bar and venue.
Yeah.
This place was not set up to be a venue in mind.
No.
This was this is like in the mill houses sort of district when that was still a big thing.
Yeah.
Decades ago.
Decades.
Decades. And they still have not really fixed up the housing all that much from what I can tell. No, I know it's coming. Gentrification is going to overturn that.
Oh, yeah, it's coming all the way down that road, which blows me away because I remember going in there when it used to be rough. Yeah. Really rough.
Yeah. Oh, it's only now slightly rough.
There was this house club, and what a house club was a club that was in a house. It wasn't like a club.
Mm-hmm. It was just at somebody's house.
It was just at a house that had been renovated. But when you walked up to it, you walked to a porch. And you opened the front door.
And then you went in.
And then they had cleared out this area, and there was a bar and tables and stuff like that.
It was a club, but it was at a house. It wasn't like a building that was built specifically for it.
The only thing I can remember, I went there about 2 blocks from where that building was.
Really?
Back in the direction
where we left?
Where we came from.
Yeah.
I went in this place one time, spent less than 5 minutes in there, basically came in with your uncle. And
which one? No, don't answer that, actually.
My best friend from high school.
Okay. Oh, okay.
All right. And sat down, ordered a beer, and as soon as the server turned around and started to walk away from the table, a chair came flying through the air and hit the wall near where me and my friend were sitting. And I just got up and walked out.
Yeah.
And he followed me, and we got in the car and we left. I'm like, I'm not.
Yeah, no.
I ain't even got the seat for him yet.
Yeah.
That's what kind of area that place down there used to be.
I get it. No, I get it. That's definitely the vibe I used to. That was kind of in the neighborhood of the vibe I used to get when Miss takes 7 shots of tequila back to back with no warm up.
No warm up.
Yeah, she gave me those types
Didn't
of vibes.
come up from air.
No.
And probably about a half a mile from that place, in the direction that we came, is the place that the night came where I got a pistol stuck in my face and said, "What are you doing here? You don't need to keep hanging out."
Yeah.
So it used to be a really rough area.
Oh, okay.
So,
that's why you didn't believe me when I said this area was rough. Okay, I will tell you, it's only slightly rough rather than what you've experienced.
No, it's nothing. I mean, it hadn't been like that in 20 years.
Probably, yeah.
Not that bad.
Yeah, it's not bad enough to where I would never go near, but it's also not good enough to where I would just like go there to chill.
Yeah, I just find it interesting that there's this.
Yeah.
There's this growing community there.
Oh yeah.
That's definitely a couple steps up on the socio-economic ladder. Money-wise.
Just a couple of steps. I'm not saying, I'm not,
coffee joints and boutiques and art galleries down there now.
Yeah, how about that?
How about that?
Yeah, so, that particular area of our town, that's definitely a big mix of, like, bougie gentrification and
definitely.
That slowly leaving aspect of that roughness that you have known.
That I remember.
That you remember,
yeah.
So... No, it's a weird blend, but no, we went to this place. I don't know what this building was meant for. Probably storage, if I had to guess. But initially, it had been retrofitted by the people that run it to be more like an in-house market, so to speak.
Right. I think it used to be some kind of store.
Probably, yeah. So, and okay, then I guess nothing really changed all that much.
Yeah.
So, and that's basically what it is. It's kind of like a low rent. I don't want to. There has to be a word for this. Basically, there's punk. And then there's like you're kind of in the, and then there's like the step above that where you're not rich enough to afford like a car, but you're definitely not poor enough to be thinking about where your next meal is, which is kind of what punk is at its core.
At its core
when it first started, let's face it.
Yeah.
And then there's like
out of work people were hungry.
Yeah, out of work people hungry, and that's kind of where punk started.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's face it.
It did.
That place is kind of like two or three steps above punk in terms of like socioeconomics.
Sure.
Except it's not that these people are rich pretending to be punk, not like
no.
The Dead Kennedys.
Yeah.
No disrespect to the Dead Kennedys. I like some of their songs, but there's a difference between English punk and American punk. Definitely. When it first started.
Yeah.
Yeah. Basically, the difference is these people in the English punk when it first started, and of course it spread. The original punk, it was like, I don't have a job. I'm living in a shitty situation. I don't have any shoes. Don't have any shoes. The shoes I do got, I stole from a dead person.
Right.
I don't know where my next meal is. Life is hell. Fuck the cops.
Yeah.
And then they just slam dance.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's more to it than that.
And a couple levels above that in this country, there were certain people
who saw that.
Socioeconomic level is kind of in the middle.
Yeah.
Upper middle, upper middle.
Yeah.
Because if you didn't have income,
yeah,
you wouldn't have gotten your hands on punk music.
No, you wouldn't have.
And
so the other side,
where the North American punk.
Yeah, the North American punk. It was more like it was kind of like emo is today, where it was used more as rebellion against your society and mom and dad and whatever versus
grass.
My life sucks.
Tell me like to walk on the grass.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, that's kind of the difference. So, I'm not saying the place where we went, it's kind of in the middle.
Yeah.
Where actually it's more towards that whole like rebellion for the sake of rebellion, because you still had to have money to buy their shit.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah, you still got to, it's like going to somebody from long ago, like going to one of their concerts. And it, costing hundreds and hundreds of dollars.
Exactly. Or it's another example is like how Burning Man started versus where it's at today.
Yeah. mean, you gotta have a certain amount. Today, you gotta have a certain amount of money to get through the door.
But I have heard people that they just fucking walk into the desert because it's a desert.
Yeah.
No one's gonna stop them.
No one's gonna stop them.
But that is still true, where the bougie will pay for their. Actually, I wonder if that's a scam to keep it going. Where the bougie people who don't know anything about Burning Man, they will pay for quote unquote a ticket. But the people that know what's up, they just fucking walk out there. I wonder if they're doing that on purpose.
As long as they get their expenses covered, who cares?
Yeah, I would.
Well, look at it.
Yeah, I want to do Burning Man at least once.
At least once. Because
I'm just curious. What the fuck you people doing out in the desert besides setting shit on fire?
So, but this place last night, no, I mean, it was definitely one of those, it was quaint.
It was quaint.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. No, this was the type of place where it wasn't like...
It didn't look like they would be holding a theatrical production of anything other than making biscuits.
Yeah, or something. But at the same time, you weren't worried about like stumbling on a rat in the building.
No.
So it's in between. It's definitely in that direction of, this is a rough place, but it's not rough enough to where I got to worry about cockroaches and rats in the walls.
Sure.
I mean, there might be, but we didn't see them.
No.
Didn't hear them, thank God. So, no, and they had, they were like, playing, film serial trailers and Monster Universal movies.
Which was
trailers.
really cool.
Oh, yeah, like the old black and white stuff, the RKO trailers, as like, pre-show.
Pre-show.
Had the movie rear projected and shown on like 5 different TV screens. And they literally just had people dressed up as the characters, acted in front of the audience as the characters on screen. They didn't really have to speak. They just had to act.
Right.
You brought a shit ton of rice.
Well.
Which I appreciated, by the way.
I mean, I didn't know what I mean, we got a little bag of goodies.
Yeah, we got a free bag of goodies, which I appreciated.
We got like 0.6 ounces of rice.
Which is bullshit.
It's some bullshit.
Like, if you're going to throw rice, throw fucking rice.
Well, that's what I was thinking, because I hadn't been to a Rocky Horror in 25, 30 years. And,
yeah, you and the guy that sat next to me.
Me and the matriarch went to it on a midnight showing on a Halloween about 25 years ago at a big movie theater.
How was that?
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. I mean, there was so much rice. It looked like a snowstorm in there. I can just remember the view. There's this. They got the movie playing on this big movie screen.
Yeah.
They got
the people in front
acting it out, and it just this hailstorm of rice just flying in,
fucking these people.
I mean, people were standing up and giving it their best, Major League Baseball pitches.
Yeah.
And I can remember hearing the rice hitting the screen.
Yeah.
In the dialogue. And I mean, it was just this, and they had to walk up the aisle, right? We were in a movie theater. See, we were just sitting in front of a stage.
Mm-hmm.
But when they did the wedding walk off, they came up the aisle in this movie theater, and they just got pelted. I mean, just pelted. So I realized that night that I didn't bring enough, because I didn't know. I mean, it was the first time I had seen it. I had been to it once or twice. There was a time when people would go see the movie.
Sure.
And then they would just throw stuff at the screen.
Yeah, that's normal.
Then that was normal.
Yeah.
And so I've
been to a couple of those.
I've been to that. And then I went to the live one, the shadow casting.
Yeah.
And people really brought a lot of stuff.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it was.
Yeah, I think you told me. See, there was what is typical to bring to the Rocky Horror Picture Show to like throw at the screen or throw at the shadow cast people. It's usually rice for the initial wedding. Rice for the initial wedding. I'm trying to think. There's the newspaper, the glow stick, and the water guns for a lot of water guns.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of water guns.
Big water guns.
the light at the center of there's a light, whatever that.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. See, the party hats for saying happy birthday to Rocky, the noisemakers, the glove, the cards at the end, at the end. I think when you said when you went, they threw fucking toast during the dinner scene. A toast. And you just throw toast.
Bread coming in off camera. These
next time,
slices of bread.
Yeah, next time
and flying through the air.
Yeah, next time we need to bring toast, but don't tell nobody.
Well, we're gonna have to sit on the right side of the stage. That was the other thing was hampering me. We were sitting on the left side of the stage,
and a lot of the shit was happening on the right side. Well,
right.
we didn't get there super early.
No, I mean
that's okay.
I'm not complaining.
No, I'm not.
I'm just saying if I'm gonna launch toast, I need to be on the right side. So
you need a frisbee it.
So I can get my position off strategery.
Mm-hmm. Pretty much. And you and I wouldn't be a dick and just we just like throw one slice per. And just go a toast, plaff, plaff, and that's it.
Yeah.
No, not the entire loaf.
I don't want to see anybody get injured.
No, we're not going to throw the entire loaf at Frankenfurter or anything. So
no.
Yeah, shit like that. I tell you the one moment that absolutely just fucking broke me.
Oh, yeah.
Honest to God, I damn near peed myself.
You lost your shit.
I almost pissed myself. All right.
They had an individual in the back
who was chirping
the Rocky Horror standard chirp interaction with the movie or the play or whatever.
Yeah, because when you go to one of these shows, you're gonna talk back.
I mean, he added some nuances which I thought were interesting.
Of course, yeah.
But yeah, so through the whole movie, there's chirping going on.
Yeah, there's chirping going on. That's mandatory.
And there was one guy that apparently was his job to chirp that whole movie.
I know who that guy is. I don't know him personally, but I know who he is. He works there.
Yeah.
No, his job was basically just to keep the chirping going, not let it just be like a people watch it in peace.
Right.
Because you don't go to a live Shadowcast of Rocky Horror and watch it in peace. You do that at your fucking house.
Yeah, you can do that at your living room.
Yeah, this is an event. This is where participation comes into play.
Right. This is why people enjoy it.
Yeah, because you get to participate. And everyone's cool.
Yeah.
And it was during. It was during the Time Warp song, and for some reason, the audience was not singing.
No,
not really. Like, it was you and me, like two other people. That was it.
That was it.
I was pissed.
A lot of virgins in the audience.
Oh my god, that's something I keep noticing.
Well,
like almost half the audience were virgins, and I'm like, what the fuck? I mean,
it happens.
Yeah, it happens. I was expecting at least 5 to 7. This is 20.
Yeah, it was about 20.
About 20 people.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck, man? Well, whatever. I'm not saying these people can't enjoy it. I'm just like, why are there so many of you? You see?
All right.
And it was during the Time Warp scene. And of course, it's like, the song's going, it's just a jump to the left and a step to the right. Put your hands on your hips and bend your knees real tight. And the song keeps going.
Right.
And the investigator, narrator person, whoever the fuck this guy is, really, he's, singing too. He's going along with it too.
Right.
Because, that's the movie. If you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. There's a scene where the investigator is on his desk going, and it's a jump to the left. And it cuts back to the mansion.
Right.
During the part where he's singing, it's just a jump to the left, the guy in the back chirping in unison with him saying, it's just a jump to the left, goes, get the fuck off your desk. It's like, get the fuck off your desk. And just a step to the right. And it just broke me.
It was a good time.
Yeah.
It was funny.
Let's see. I know I added some of my own comments, cause not a lot, cause I'm gonna say some dumb shit. Not dumb isn't funny, just dumb isn't dumb.
Right.
And stuff. And sometimes I will go places that not a lot of people can follow. I admit this.
Sure.
It doesn't make me funny or make me intellectual. It just means I can make some connections.
Sure.
Sometimes not a lot of connections people will commonly make.
Sure. Perspective.
Uh-huh.
Get one.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was just simple stuff. The dinner scene, it was like the dinner scene where he rips the cloth off the table to show Meatloaf dead. I shouted out, "I had a Lecter up in this bitch!" And after the time warp scene, when everyone passes out and Brad starts talking, it's like, "You guys know the medicine?" Everyone's like groaning and everything, and I said, "Fuck you!" Just simple stuff.
Simple stuff.
One thing that I missed.
Yeah.
And it was in response to the guy chirping. I fucking missed it because I was tired.
Right.
It was the part where Riff Raff and Magenta were gonna go back to their home planet with the castle. And the guy chirping said, "Does this mean we can't use your telephone?" And I wanted it, and I missed it by like 5 seconds, but I thought of it. And if I was more awake, I would have done it. I said, "Castles don't have telephones!" Because he kept shouting that the entire first half of the movie.
Right. Yeah, it was neat.
Yeah, it was neat. It was fun.
Magenta is Riff Raff's sister.
Yes.
And Columbia is...
some person.
Is the person wearing the dancing redhead?
Yeah. Columbia's just some
That whole
person.
play was driven by that chick last night that played Columbia.
Oh, yeah, it was.
That was pretty neat.
Yeah, she was kind of the main person, which that happens. Usually the person, it's usually Columbia or like some stagehand that's the person that's driving the scene.
So.
I definitely appreciated the fact that they made everybody wear nipple tape, including the guy. Including Brad. I was like, you know what?
Sure.
I'm okay with this. Because everyone is being equally objectified.
I don't remember that much underwear.
No.
Last night was
in spirit.
In spirit.
Yes.
I don't remember it'd definitely be hard to do to get up and be wearing not enough cloth to make a good washcloth.
Uh-huh.
Not enough material to make a good washcloth.
Oh yeah, no, I get it.
That's got to be tough.
Oh yeah.
So
I just appreciated that everyone was being equally objectified.
Yeah.
I agree with that. Because it's Rocky Horror.
So it was.
Shit's gonna get real.
It was neat.
Oh yeah.
And it they didn't go overboard with anything,
Thank
and I'm just one of these canon people.
Yeah, me too.
Okay.
Yeah, of my.
I enjoy classics,
mm-hmm.
And if you want to improve a classic, quote unquote classic, make up your own.
Yeah, make up your own.
Make up your own.
Sure.
Okay.
I mean, I think I
don't want to watch Snow White when she goes into the castle with guns blazing.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
I don't appreciate that type of rewrite.
Sure.
I'm not interested in that.
Sure.
See.
No, I think I have talked on this podcast about the last time I saw like a play of Rocky Horror. Not a shadowcast, an actual play, like a production at a theater. I remember there was multiple things, but the one in terms of it not being canon was Frankenfurter's obsession with trying to shove a glittery spray painted gold dildo down the person playing Janet's throat. I was like, dude, no.
You gotta deal with this the whole time.
And I gotta deal with this the whole fucking time. Like, dude, stop.
Yeah.
This is not the time or the place. Yes, it's Rocky Horror. Yes, it's highly sexualized, because that's the fucking point. Yes, it's a farce.
Well, it's just kind of like
it's campy.
This
is not.
Yeah,
no.
Look at it like the movie Jaws.
How so?
It was the breakdown of the mechanical shark that gave the movie its presence
Because they didn't show the shark.
Because they didn't show the shark.
It basically forced them to get creative.
It forced them to be more creative.
Mm-hmm.
And if based on the technology at the time.
Sure.
Well, even today, if they would say they reshot that movie and digitalized that shark.
Mm-hmm.
You see how
it would lose its luster.
It would lose its luster.
Yeah.
Okay. If his original idea, if his original version in his head could come to fruition with a digital shark, it would look really campy.
Oh yeah.
Really campy.
Yeah.
Okay. So.
No,
in correlation with Rocky Horror.
The thing holding them back was basically the censors at the time.
Well, no, I think.
Quote unquote holding them back, limiting them.
And sometimes those limitations aren't the best for some kind of contrived moral perspective.
Sure.
When you get it's like I've said for years, the reason that I don't have a problem with certain levels of censorship for television. Just regular television.
Yeah, just regular television.
Because if there isn't any censorship or standards for regular television, then it's going to be two people playing with dildos trying to sell me orange juice. I'm not interested in that.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
That's not necessary.
That's just not. I mean, some people. I'm just saying for the overall market.
Sure.
Okay. And the thing about the allure.
Mm-hmm.
Of Rocky Horror is the suggestion of Frankenfurter's sexuality
and
what's going on with Brad and Janet. It's the
implied and sometimes the explicit.
And sometimes the explicit.
And there is implied. That's the thing.
If you had more explicit, okay, there's more implied than explicit in view. I submit.
Yes.
And I'm open to discussion regarding it.
Sure.
I am of the opinion that if you had more explicit than
implicit,
it would take. I think the play would be less successful.
Mm-hmm.
I think the whole thing would have been less successful. Not just because you just don't want. No, I in other words, it needs to be. Everything in the original version of
it's kind of like
Rocky Horror is I think is somewhat plausible.
Sure.
Okay, but watching someone run around stage and trying to shove a glittering dildo down somebody's throat while you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's no place in society where that happens.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand if that's how you're risque.
Yeah.
It's like a little person comedian only telling short jokes.
Yeah.
Okay. We get that part.
Yeah.
Okay.
What are your opinions about blank?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else are you funny about?
Yeah.
We understand that that's part.
Yeah.
So when you see somebody taking advantage of the canon like that, trying to be all, ooh, we're just going to spook the crap. To me, that's lesser quality because it doesn't take, it's just like trying to scare the audience with an axe. It doesn't take a lot of activity. You just run at them and hold it. You don't even have to swing it at them.
There's no nuance.
There's no nuance to it.
Granted, Rocky Horror is not designed to be subtle.
No, it's not. But
it still has a charm, and it knows when to hold back.
Knows when to hold
to
back.
Let you breathe.
Well, that's the whole thing. It's like, ooh, we're being naughty because we're watching this or participating in this. Okay, there's that element where that's where the interest power comes from.
Indeed.
Because if you put it all on full display,
it kind of
there's no mystique to it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
there's no interest in it.
Mm-hmm.
Probably because the Rocky Horror now compared to when I first started reading about it in the movie ads in newspapers in the mid 70s. Back then it was a lot more taboo.
Oh yeah.
And
people went
now because of the change in society, there's going to be less people that find it, ooh, let's do this because we're not supposed to.
Yeah.
And nowadays it's just,
Yeah.
Oh, hey.
Today it's less of a it's taboo and more of a celebration of the the whole like alphabet mafia, the LGBTQ plus whatever joke.
Right.
Which that was going to happen regardless.
Sure.
Let's face it, that was going to happen. That those two just coincides with each other.
Sure.
You see.
Sure.
And it's now become more of a celebration rather than just something that they're trying to skirt by, get away with, you see.
Right.
And I got no problem with that.
No.
Because sometimes that's how I make friends.
I'm just saying that it's like what you experienced in that it's like going to a theatrical production of The Princess Bride.
Uh-huh.
And this big sword fight between Wesley
and Inigo Montoya?
Yeah. Imagine them spilling blood and everybody getting splashed with it. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's swashbuckling. Well, we didn't kill him. Yeah, well, you didn't have to get fake blood on the first 3 rows of people either. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, this ain't it's not that kind of show.
It's not that kind of show.
Yes.
That's all I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And my attitude is, when you start messing with canon, make it work.
Yeah, just make it work.
Or go create your own thing.
Yeah.
If you're so proud of how far you're pushing the envelope with an already established entity,
then make your own.
Then make your own, big boy. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
I don't think that's an unrealistic expectation.
No,
I really
get it. I kind of have the same. I have the same thing for fan fiction and people.
Yeah.
I'll kind of give you an example. There is now I know you and the Matriarch like it probably a lot more than I do. The show Titans. It's basically the Teen Titans, except they're not teenagers anymore.
Halfway of the second season, and
I didn't even get past.
I haven't gotten any further.
I didn't get past the first episode of the second season.
Yeah.
So you've seen more than I have. Because here's the thing.
I thought it was okay, but it didn't hold my interest.
Yeah.
Until you brought it up, I'd completely forgotten about it.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I grew up watching Teen Titans, the animated show, which I swear to God, if anybody ever and I've had numerous people talk about Teen Titans Go fuck yourself, first of all. You cannot compare. Like, look, I get the original Teen Titans animated show was goofy and for kids. Hey, guess what? Teen Titans Go is made for brain dead 5-year-olds. Okay, you can't convince me otherwise. Okay, it is trash. Stop trying to defend it. I don't care if it's a spoof. It's just like the Rocky Horror thing. This is not. It doesn't work.
Right.
Plain and simple, at the end of the day, it just doesn't work.
Doesn't work.
And, I grew up with the original Teen Titans show, and I loved it. It was really good. I had some really great writing in it. Again, Teen Titans Go sucks. Very juvenile. Very bottom shelf humor, toilet humor,
right? Not
a lot of clever writing, very bare bones.
They're just mailing it in.
Sure. Because here's the thing: the original Teen Titans, you can see. Here's the thing: it's for kids and for adults because it tackles some pretty complex topics. Yeah. What happens if your friends separate and you don't talk to them anymore? Stuff like basically Starfire essentially going through puberty, and it's something, because she's a fucking alien.
Sure.
The abusive father-daughter relationship with Raven, it tackled some pretty rough subjects. Cyborg feeling out of place because he's half man, half automaton. He's not even really a person. He's a thing.
A thing.
It tackled some pretty rough stuff.
Sure.
And Teen Titans Go just makes the waffle song and calls it a day. Do you see what I'm getting at?
I got you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, when I hear about the show Titans, I'm like, well, okay, what's this? And I keep seeing the trailers for it, and I've actually sit down and watched, like, the entire first season, and I'm like, what the fuck are you people doing?
Well,
like, here's the thing.
A lot of shows, it takes them at least one season to kind of
get their shit together.
I guess.
Yeah, I get it.
You know.
No. That's normal for, like, the first season of a TV show to get their shit together. I get that. That's not a problem.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Whereas the original Teen Titans animated show, it could be for adults and kids.
Yeah.
Teen Titans Go is purely for children. Titans is almost no humor for adults, essentially. It went the exact opposite of Teen Titans Go. It's toothy to the point of it biting itself, and it did.
I can see that, yeah.
So, it's weird. There's no Cyborg, because Cyborg is in, like, the movie canon for DC, so I guess they couldn't bring him in. Robin is this, like, loner dude who doesn't want to be Robin anymore because fuck Batman.
Yeah.
That's literally one of the first things he says as Robin, or when he's in the costume, is fuck fuck Batman.
Yeah.
Starfire is black, and she shoots fire instead of green plasma, like she's supposed to. I don't understand.
Yeah.
She doesn't look like Starfire at all, but that's okay. Like, here's the thing, I'm okay with colorblind casting.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with
that. Kenneth Branagh does that a lot, but it's like, okay, so I'm okay with, she's supposed to have wild hair, and she does. But it's like, just because her name's Starfire doesn't mean her powers are fire. Beast Boy, he's pretty good.
Was Beast Boy always just one animal?
No, he was several. He could be anything.
Okay, I've only seen one.
For some reason they only make him mostly into a tiger, and I'm like, he can do other shit too. Like,
that's what I thought.
Cats, dogs, sharks.
I couldn't remember.
Yeah, no, he can do other animals, not just a tiger. And then there's Raven, who I don't. Okay, because for some reason, I had always seen that Raven has always been presented as someone who was, like, calm, collected, meditated all the time, because she was born with this horrible power that if it got out of control would be world-ending.
Right.
And here she's been, look, I guess you want to say, like, this is before she realized who she was, and before she got help and all that. And it's like, well, that's fine, but you didn't have to do all this dumb early 2000s emo shit like, sometimes when I feel the darkness, it feels good. Oh, God.
Yeah.
Like, you can do the tortured soul weighed down by this heavy burden without having to resort to 100% angst.
Well,
you can have some, because that comes with the territory.
Sure.
Unless you're like Mel Gibson in that one movie, or The Punisher. Even then, The Punisher kind of has a little bit of angst.
Yeah.
So that does come with the territory of the tortured soul. But for fuck's sake, did you have to make it the whole ass character? I seriously.
I don't know. Is redemption waiting for her later?
I don't fucking know. I don't know. Because here's what happened. The whole first season, they set up about Raven's real father, Trigon, some demon lord. He's gonna come to Earth, he's gonna kill everybody and fuck up her shit, and Raven is like the portal or the gateway, or she's going to do it because that was the whole reason she was created in the first place, yada, yada, yada.
Yada, yada, yada.
Yeah. They did this in the original Teen Titans show too, and I'm sure in the comics this was a thing as well. However, they spent the whole first season building this guy up. He's evil. He's going to kill humanity just because he can for the fun of it.
Yeah, for the fun of it.
Yeah. Building him up the whole season. And what made me just stop watching just fucking immediately was the fact that the first episode of season 2, they kill him.
All right.
You spent the entire first season building him up, and then you kill him in essentially the first act of the first act.
Interesting.
Yes. And I was like, okay, I'm done. Like, I can't take anymore. I'm done. Because here's the thing. It did have some pretty good pulls,
Yeah.
There were some aspects that I found tolerable. After that, I was like, dude, you can have, like, the best thing to come, and then, but you can't, I don't care. But here's the thing. The reason I bring this up is because,
Please tell us.
Yeah, I know. Because here's the thing. It's just so fan fiction-y.
Okay.
The whole thing felt like a poorly written fan fiction.
Right.
And it never shook that. And hence that whole thing about, try your own thing in your own, like, do your own thing. Versus
right.
taking somebody else's property and inserting your
that's
shit
exactly
into
what I'm talking about. You have to establish the foundation of whatever it is you're taking from.
Yes.
And then, if you want to augment it.
Yeah. Yeah, here's the thing. Here's the thing with that whole thing. When I say, in general, when you talk about fan fiction, you are not necessarily talking about the bad. You're talking about the amateur, the inexperienced.
Right.
Because all fan fiction is just you're taking somebody else's toys and play sets and putting them together in your own ways, your own stories, in order to hone your craft.
Right.
Cover bands.
Sure.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that.
Where you go wrong is this is honestly what Titans feels like. It feels less like actual fan fiction because it feels like fan fiction hang on, I'm trying to water. I'm thirsty.
Getting a little dry.
Yeah, I'm getting a bit dry. Where fan fiction goes wrong is when some kind of movie or TV show studio executive bursts into the room of the fan fiction author,
right.
reads their shittily done first draft of their Teen Titans Adult AU, which is alternate universe, their alternate universe AU story, and goes, Eureka! This is fucking genius! And that's basically what Titans feels like. Titans feels like the main executive of that show burst into his kids' room as they were typing their fan fiction for Teen Titans, their adult AU, and said, "Hey, I'm gonna make a TV show about this." Yeah,
you just want to go, "Hey, who paid for this? You paid for it?
Yeah.
Did you read this?
Yeah. Exactly.
So, yeah, that's what happens a lot of times when you don't serve the core audience. And, being a Star Trek fan, I'm very, very familiar with them putting out something that's going to sell regardless and not really trying hard.
Yeah.
So I get that, and that annoys me too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Star Trek Discovery and Star Trek Picard are trash. No one's going to convince me otherwise.
So,
like, I've barely seen I have not seen a lot of Star Trek: The Next Generation with Picard in it. I'm working to it, you know.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I'm just winding my way. I'm winding my way through the Star Trek canon, the canon movies, not all the extra shit. In order to bridge the gap between the first Star Trek cast and the Next Generation, and then I'm going to go from there.
Right.
But here's the thing. I have a rough idea of who Picard is. Very respectable captain / admiral, I think, at some point.
Mm.
You know, very wise, very philosophical, very cerebral, you know.
Right.
And, you know, I don't know all of Picard's accomplishments. Again, I hadn't seen much of the Next Generation fans, just so don't come for me. But the fact that they take this person who clearly has accomplished much, you know, the fact that they encountered Q is an accomplishment in itself, because you essentially shook hands with God. Because Q...
Your level of understanding.
Essentially.
Sure. Yeah. And interaction, yeah.
Yeah. And that's what Q is. You're basically shaking hands with this omnipotent, all-knowing whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
That just happens to take the form of John Delancey. I think it works.
I thought it did.
Yeah, I thought it did. So that in itself is an accomplishment. And then in Star Trek Picard, I'm not saying he should have been treated like Jesus. You know, everybody worshiping the ground he walked on, even in his retirement. But for God's sake, they treat him like he was just dog shit on their heel.
Right.
Just demeaning, and, like, they cuss him out for being like an old man trying to step into a world he doesn't know. Like, bitch! First of all, the fact that there was even swearing in Star Trek to begin with.
Yeah.
Which, here's the thing, I'm not saying there can't be the occasional expletive, you know. Something gets blown up, Scotty's like, fuck! You know, if hypothetically, I figured that would happen, you know. But the fact that people just very casually use curse words, and in some case alien slurs, in the presence of their higher officers.
Really?
It's like, dude, that's your captain. Why are you calling him a space slur? That's your captain. Like,
that is interesting.
Here's the thing, you can't even do that in real life, in the normal military. Like, if you were just a private and you went up to your platoon leader and called him something.
Yeah, how does that make it better?
Yeah, how does that make it better? You know, you just rolled up on him and just like, what up, motherfucker? Like, that's not going to end well.
Not usually.
Not usually.
No, I wasn't aware of that.
No,
Once again. Selling orange juice with dildos.
Yeah.
Don't care for it.
Yeah, don't care for it neither, so. I don't know. It's ridiculous, and honestly, I would talk about it more, but on the one hand, we're running out of time, and two, I've only seen enough to know that these guys are not trying.
They're not.
They're not going to ever try.
I
don't. I know who he is.
You know what I'm saying?
He's a soy boy.
Makes sense. It would be cool if we insert this line here.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you know.
I don't know. There's just some weird shit happening in the entertainment industry. This is why. Here's the.
Well, they basically beat the same dead horse for so long.
Now they're running out of ideas. So hey, let's. Yeah, you know, this is what.
Let's pepper this dialogue with stuff that.
Let's call Picard the N-word. You see that didn't actually happen. Oh God, I hope that never happens. But sure. You see what I mean?
I do.
It's like, guys, what are you doing? This isn't funny.
No.
It's clickbait.
Yeah.
That's all they're doing.
Yeah.
They're creatively and intellectually bankrupt, and they're essentially doing the They're doing the screenwriting form of clickbait.
That's awesome.
I've discovered that.
That's great. I like
and
that. Better write that down.
Yeah.
We need to spend some time talking about that. Instead of creating good content, everything's clickbait.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's going on in politics.
Oh, we don't. Oh, we ain't got time to get into that.
No, we don't have time to get into that. That's what's going on. Everything's clickbait now.
Equivalent.
Just trying to create the most provocative moment.
Equivalent of clickbait.
Clickbait.
I think I'll use this Post-it note to create another Wheel of Death because this one's getting full.
Yeah.
I mean, we still have like shit. What the hell did I write on this? We still got Spock, the young one, Sid and Nancy. I've got to watch Sid and Nancy. Polyamory, Dracula, Immortality, Star Trek. I don't think Star Trek is ever gonna get off the Wheel of Death.
Probably not.
So I'll just take that off.
Yeah.
I'll take Spock off too. You know, that's...
Yeah.
X-Files, I've got to watch the movie. I know I keep saying it, and I do.
Yeah, you do.
Fractals, I don't remember what that was about. Monetize the Pain, the Witch. We had talked about Dimension 20, Zero Sum Game, Not Another Teen Movie, Women Be Shopping, Guys Be Hunting. Plenty to talk about. Nothing to talk about, but plenty to say. Canned, panned, or grand. Oh, God, I forgot about that.
We hadn't done that in a while.
Yeah, we hadn't done that in a while. We gotta... Shit, if we had more time, I'd talk about chocolate, but we'll do that next time, hopefully.
Did you watch it yet?
I have!
Oh, okay.
I love it!
Well.
Chocolate. No E at the end, movie. Yeah, that movie's inspired me to go back to the indie circuit, because I think I'm ready again.
Indie circuit.
Basically, indie movie circuit.
To watch indie movies.
Yeah, like
okay.
basically a lot of the shit they were doing in the 90s.
I didn't know what he was like. Hey,
yeah. No.
It inspired me to start learning to play the cello. I don't know.
Well, I mean, Primus and Tool inspired me to try to play the bass.
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
You know,
but anyway.
I mean, it's not out of the question.
Nope.
Keith Richards is also on the Wheel of Death because he's still alive.
Because he's still alive.
Somehow. And I don't know enough about that, so I don't know. We'll figure this shit out.
Cockroaches, Keith Richards, and Betty White. After a nuclear holocaust, those would be the only things still left alive. Possibly
Anthony Hopkins, too, because he's getting up there, but I don't see him slowing down.
Not really.
So, possibly. Anyway. We're running out of time. So,
yo,
I gotta write this. I gotta rewrite the Wheel of Death. I want to rewatch Chocolate and find other movies that are like it. And go back to the indie circuit. I think I'm ready.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just have enough of art films.
No, that's true. You're right.
And you gotta cleanse your palate. Right. I think I'm ready to go back.
Cool.
So, all right. Anyway, so that's it, folks.
That's it.
I was your host, Bel-E.
And I was your co-host, Mr. Scratch.
And we'll see you guys next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday.
Goodbye.